and welcome to RTF Sports Talk. I am Michael Buckcaster, the host of the show, joined today with Billy Hatton. Billy, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. Fine Thanksgiving morning. A little chilly out here in New Mexico, but ready to talk some sports.
Just for you guys know, Billy says chilly is like 65 degrees, so don't let him fool you with that 65-degree chilly weather talk. Get out of here with that.
But I don't even know what the weather is like out here. Oh, we had a chilly 41 degrees right now.
Okay, well, I mean, here in southern Indiana,
and it's cold. I got on three jackets.
It's roughly like 35 degrees or so, give or take a couple degrees. But as Billy alluded to, this is Thanksgiving morning. Matthew Lyle will be joining us here in a couple minutes once he gets on the phone. But today we're going to be talking about that Gonzaga game. They beat Duke last night. We're going to talk a little Golden State Warriors, and of course we're going to talk Thanksgiving football. All that and much more right after the intro.
RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk.
And now you've got yourself something funky.
RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk.
Alrighty, guys, here, and welcome back to the show. I am Michael Buckcaster, like we alluded to earlier. If you guys watched any college basketball last night, during the day, you saw some pretty good matchups. You've seen Kentucky win over. You saw Kentucky win. You saw Kansas State win. Arizona State win as well. But the game of the night had to be Gonzaga, number 3, taking on the top-seeded Duke Blue Devils. Gonzaga ended up upsetting the Duke Blue Devils 89-87 in the Maui Classic, I believe it was. Many people at the game said it was a Final Four feel, and it could possibly be a Final Four preview. So, Billy Hatton, I come to you as a Duke Blue Devil fan. Are you discouraged by this loss? Are you encouraged by this loss? What do you see happening in the future with the Duke Blue Devils?
Well, being that we're talking about college basketball, I'm never really this early in the season too worried about anything, too concerned about anything, especially a team that's 5-1 that got beat by a team that I had already put in the Final Four to begin with. So there's no shame in losing to a Final Four team. But with that being said, just speaking of this game and not going forward, I was worried about what Coach K allowed to happen. We kind of talked about it yesterday in the group message. Barrett didn't really have a great night. You know, he shot 9 of 25 last night, 1 of 4 from 3. It just wasn't his night. Cam Reddish kind of had an off night. He was 50% from the 3-point line, 2 of 4. You know, but he was 3 of 9. He only hit one other shot outside of those 2 threes. Zion Wilson had probably, one of the best games. Him and Trey Jones. Trey Jones shot 7 of 14. Zion shot 8 of 17, slightly under 50%. But I thought at the end of the game, which is what really mattered the most. At the end of the game, we had at least 5 possessions where we could have at least tied the game with a 2 or hit a 3 to go ahead 1, and we couldn't get over the hump. R.J. Barrett tries to drive. He misses it. Get the rebound back, misses again. And then we come back down again. He gets it again. He does the same exact thing. And on the final possession, for me, I would have liked to see Zion Williamson score or at least try to get to the basket, because while I think R.J. Barrett is the most skilled, Blue Devil, I think Zion Williamson is the most dominant Blue Devil, and he has that LeBron factor to me in the aspect of he can get to the rim whenever he wants to get to the rim, and at the end of the game, when we only need 2 points, who else better to get you 2 points than Zion Williamson? So for me, I would have liked to see Zion Williamson score, or at least have the opportunity to score at the end of the game. But nonetheless, I am encouraged, and it's probably a good thing that we lost. That way the players don't have that Kentucky feel that we have to go undefeated, and if we lose a game, it's a waste of season, which to me, I also would say that's a waste of season. So it's a good thing they lost. Now they can just play loose. Now they can just be college freshmen. You know, now they're allowed to make mistakes since they have lost that one game. And not every game is going to be overblown from now on. So, me, I'm encouraged about what happened yesterday. I just thought Coach K made a coaching blunder, which he rarely does, and that's let R.J. Barrett try to score one too many times when it just wasn't his night.
Yeah, and I kind of got an echo of what you said about this as well. Seeing Duke lose the way they lost, they shot, I think, 40% as a team. They missed 7 shots in the final minute of the game, and to only lose to a Final Four, possibly a championship contending team like Gonzaga, that's got to be very encouraging for Coach K. They can come out and not play the best basketball that they haven't played all year, and still only lose by 2 to a team like Gonzaga. Yes, I know there's going to be a lot of Duke Blue Devil fans saying that we shouldn't have lost. You know, Coach K has maybe lost his touch. He can't coach these young up-and-coming freshmen. But you have to realize that this Gonzaga team has 7 seniors on it. These guys have been playing in Gonzaga for at least 4 years. Most of them 5 years because they redshirted their first year. So with that being said, you are basically playing a veteran team versus a high school team, like at this point. You know, a very experienced college team versus a top level high school team, versus age wise. As far as, you know, this loss, I think it's going to be better and encouraging for Duke in the long run, because just like what you alluded to, they don't have to worry about going 42-0 or 40-0 or whatever that final tally is at the end of the season now. And now when they go back to practice on Monday or Tuesday or whenever they make it back to North Carolina, they have something to practice. Before, you know, they had all this hype. Is Duke ever going to lose? They beat Kentucky by 30 points. This team is just basically battling amongst themselves, yada, yada, yada. This gives them something to work forward to in the upcoming games, in upcoming weeks, and upcoming months. This Duke is more beneficial, or this loss for Duke is much more beneficial than it is at service level in the end. So and just another thing, if I would, just on that point, it kind of goes back to when I was young and I was playing sports. And my dad would always criticize me. He would rarely give me compliments. And I asked him, and I said it before. I said it before on the show, and he would tell me, "What did you do today?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I went 2 for 3. I had a double. I had an RBI. I threw 3 people out." And he said, "That's what I mean. You know what you did good, so why do I need to praise you on what you did good? Because if I always told you what you did good, you would never go work on the stuff that you need to go work on. And right now, this loss shows Duke you are beatable. Right.
All these kids heard since they stepped on campus and all doing recruitment is these are 1, 2, and 3 in the draft maybe. These guys are so good. These guys are athletic. These guys are smart. These guys are beyond their years of being a freshman. Now it kind of brings them back down to earth a little bit, show them that they are human, show them that they do need to work. Coach K still has it. It's just in that game, he didn't do what he was supposed to do because Barrett had already had 3 and 4 chances to either to tie the game or to close the game out, and he didn't do it. So now you go to your next bet. It's almost like when LeBron was playing with the Heat, or right now Golden State, who we're going to get into later on. If Kevin Durant is missing shots, Kevin Durant have his shot, he misses it. He gets another shot, he misses it. He get another shot, he misses it. Well, the next time down the court, I'm pretty sure Steve Kerr is going to say, give the ball to number 30.
Right.
And let him try to close it out. And that's what I thought Coach K didn't do yesterday. Barrett had his chances. He had more than enough chances, 3 and 4 different chances. Now, at the end of the game, when it's winning time, when we know this is probably going to be our last shot, let Zion get the ball. All we need is 2 points. Worst case scenario, he goes to the free throw line, or he makes it, or worst case, he goes to the free throw line. So I think that's what happened. And Zion is a pretty good free throw shooter. So that's the only thing that I would say about Coach K. Duke is going to be fine. I think we're still a Final Four team. But just that mistake right there, I think, was on Coach K. Because the kids are going to – that's all R.J. Barrett knows. I'm going to score. Give me the ball in the game. That's what I've been doing all of high school. That's what I'm going to do. So it ain't his job to say, you know what? Nah, I'm getting this up to Zion. It's Coach K's job to say, give the ball to Zion.
Right. And just to add on of what you said there, like you made some great points there. Zion on the year is 87% from the foul line so far this season. In high school, he was above 90% free throw shooter. So I mean, I kind of like him in the clutch on the line there all the time. And just to echo some more points here, they had a tough 2 games. They played number 8 Auburn the night before, and then last night they played a number 3 Gonzaga team. Where on their schedule for the rest of the year do they play a top 10 team on back-to-back nights? I don't see it. Like I'm looking at their schedule here, and I just don't see it. So I mean, I am really encouraged by what I saw by Duke last night. Yes, they shot horrible. They didn't close out the game, but at the end of the day, you know, I give credit where credit is due. Duke is going to be pretty solid. Like looking forward through the ACC schedule, I mean, they can easily run the table. To be honest with you, they can easily do it. They do play Virginia twice, and they play North Carolina twice, of course. But other than that, there's not a lot of teams in the ACC that are decent.
Hey, Mike, don't talk about the ACC basketball. I can run off some teams for you in the ACC that could beat a lot of your Big 12 teams out there that you like to talk about.
Well, let's do that right now. Your top ranked Duke Blue Devils, can they beat the Kansas?
Anybody in the Big 12? Yes, they beat anybody in the.
We will find out how good Kansas is. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, I think it is when they play Kentucky. But they're going to lose to Kentucky. Kansas play pretty good. I mean, as painful as this is for me to say, Kansas looks good. Kansas looks like a dominant team.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kansas. When I watched Kansas play against Michigan State, game 1, I know it's only game 1. Kansas didn't look all that impressive to me.
You're right.
They look like a mediocre team. It's like a less talented team than what Bill Self has already had. So, as we're finna get ready to buzz Matthew in, Mike, you want to go ahead and do your thing and take over?
Yeah, we're going to cover Golden State next. So, just like what I alluded to in the pregame here, or the pre-show, Golden State lost again. They lost last night to the Oklahoma Thunder. I believe it was 123-96 was that final score. They have now lost 4 straight games. The last time Golden State lost 4 straight games was March 2nd in 2013. In this 450 game time frame from that point to tonight's game, Golden State has the 4th longest losing streak in the NBA. So Matthew Lyle, welcome to the show. Does this cause concern for you in the long run with Draymond Green out and Steph Curry out? That the Warriors look like a very beatable team. What are you concerned? Are you worried?
Yeah. If I wake up tomorrow and it's April, I'm very concerned. I look on that bench and I see Steph Curry, I see Draymond, and I see DeMarcus Cousins all sitting in suits. And then I look on the court and I see Damian Lee and Quinn Cook taking all the shots. Yes, I'm very concerned, but we're still a long ways from there. If they anticipate having both Draymond and Steph back in action when they come back from this homestand. So I absolutely am confident that when this team is whole, it's fine. But until that point, I mean, there is going to be cause for concern, and we may not get the number 1 overall seed. We might even get the number 2 seed. The only thing I'm looking at is trying to be a glass half full kind of guy. Is maybe this will scratch whatever itch Draymond or KD and Klay Thompson have of having their own team. Because I'll tell you, last night, Klay and KD did not look like leaders. They did not look like someone that was running their team. They looked like someone who was they basically looked like a substitute teacher, and the class was out of hand. So hopefully that scratches that itch. But I mean, if the playoffs started now, I would be concerned. But we are still quite a ways from that.
I'm going to say yes and no. I'm going to say, and I think that's my heart and my head for the yes and the no. But I'm going to give you some facts, I guess, the reason why I say yes, I'm a little bit concerned. And that's because we know one thing since Steph Curry has been in the league, and that is he is very injury prone. He's like the Michael Vick or the Aaron Rodgers. That Aaron Rodgers is a better example, I think, because he's so great, but he's always getting hurt. That's just Steph Curry, and that's why I say it worries me, because this team with Kevin Durant leading it, even if it was Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and Draymond, I don't think that team is the best team in the NBA. I think they can still win. I think it's possible, but it's going to be grinding out games all the time, just like now, because Kevin Durant is not a leader. That's why he left OKC. He was the leader of that team. Despite what people say about Russell Westbrook, he didn't get the shots. Their shots was Kevin Durant always averaged more shots than Russ, other than, I believe, 1 or 2 years that they played together. So Kevin Durant was running from pressure, running from being the guy on the team. He was up 3-1 on his very same Warrior team. And now that but I also don't believe that Steph Curry is also a guy that can lead a team, which is the reason why he was okay to getting Kevin Durant and why he's okay to getting Boogie. So for me, in that aspect, injury-wise, yes. But when I look at it real time, Steph Curry, the 2-time MVP, will be back. Draymond Green, who is one on that team, he is everything for them. He will be back. Boogie Cousins, who they say are already on pace to come back already, but he'll be back after the All-Star break. He hasn't played yet. This team is still the best team in the NBA when they're fully healthy. So if they're fully healthy, I see no problems here. But if Steph gets hurt, that could cause some real problems.
Well, Billy, to your point, we talked about this earlier in the season. I hate to drink the Kool-Aid and be the conspiracy theory guy, but we talked about this in the offseason. When the Warriors are hurt, I never know to trust it. Because a lot of times we see these guys, we see Steve Kerr bench these guys for 10, 11 games at a time to let other rotations come in and shine. Now, I don't think that's exactly what's happening here, but it's hard for me when I see that Steph's going to miss 10 to 12 games, it's hard for me to take that super serious given that we see this every year, that there's a 10-game stretch that Draymond misses. There's a 10-game stretch that Klay misses. There's a 10-game stretch that Klay I'm getting all the names mixed up here. There's just 10-game stretches that everyone is sitting out in suits, and then you see a whole new rotation. They pick up some guys from the D-League, and then the guys that can stick stay, the guys that are trash go. Look, I don't want to be overly optimistic when there clearly might be a rift going on. But it's so hard to know when that rift is true and when it's just Steve Kerr playing with it. There was a couple of plays last night. Draymond Green was drawing up plays. I mean, so it's hard to be too concerned when I see that. But I also know that the little rift between
Draymond and KD wasn't safe. So that's always going to be a dark cloud looming over. But with these injury things, I don't know whether to trust it or is Steve Kerr just being Steve Kerr.
So you guys keep alluding to Cousins making it back after the All-Star break, like how big an impact he is going to make. Do you really think he is going to gel on this team that fast to make a big impact on the playoffs and like the rest of the season after the All-Star break? Billy, we'll start with you.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say yes in the sense that to Boogie, this is just – because let's say he comes back in February or March. That's 3 months of season. To Boogie, this is nothing different than the All-Star. This is just a long All-Star weekend or one of those summers that they do the Olympics. If this was a long-term deal, 5 years, I would say, let's see what Boogie does. But all Boogie has to do is just sit back and chill for 3 months, assuming he's 100% healthy or close to it. He has to just come in there, catch some lobs, get some putbacks. I'm sure he'll be allowed to shoot some threes here and there, play some defense, get some blocks. On a small time frame, absolutely. To him, this is just a long vacation. And then next year, when he goes to get his real contract, that's when he'll find the team that truly fits him. But if they get everybody else healthy and they get that team chemistry built back up, he's going to have a blast for 3 months.
I just think, because gelling, I mean, who doesn't gel with the Warriors? I remember when Kevin Durant, when there was rumors that he was going to go to Golden State Warriors before he actually signed, what was everybody saying then? Well, there's only one ball. Well, they showed you that everybody's still getting their same amount of shots, and they're killing people when they're fully healthy. So is Boogie can come in there, get a lot of putback. Now they got a guy where they can go like a 4-out with Draymond, Kevin Durant, Klay, and Steph, and then you just have Boogie down low by itself working one-on-one with whoever's big man, and I'm going to take Boogie. Because when he was healthy, to me, Boogie was the best center in basketball. I think now that's Joel Embiid now, but when Boogie is healthy, Boogie was the best center in basketball. He's not going to, and now that he's had that extra time to rest, because as Matthew alluded to, the contract situation, I think if this was a long-term deal, he would be in a rush to get back. He would be trying to get – he would probably be playing before the All-Star break. But they got him for 1 year, $5 million. He knows he's playing for the Warriors. I don't have to rush back. I don't have to exert any extra physical power to mess up my Achilles. He gets to fully heal that Achilles, which a lot of doctors say is the worst injury in any sport. He gets to rest it long term. Boogie's going to absolutely be effective in this offense.
Yeah, and to your point, Billy, the only person I think that could, if you spread out the Warriors and then you have Boogie one-on-one, the only person that I think could give him a run for a full 48 minutes would be Joel Embiid, and I don't think they have the horses to match everything that the Warriors got, especially now that they've traded away 2 key pieces to get one offensive guy and a so-so defender, especially, one that's he's like a running back. He's been driven hard. When I think of this, and Billy, you brought up a good point, it's kind of like we all had friends as a kid, and our moms might have been strict, but when we brought our friends over, the mom was the coolest person out. So that's what it's going to be like to Boogie. Boogie's just staying the night. So Boogie has no pressure. Boogie does what he wants.
All right, guys, and let's move from the hardwood over to the grass. And Thanksgiving is a day of football in my household. We start watching football at 11 a.m. once the Lions come on all the way until Sunday night. And, guys, that's the first game we're going to start with today. We had the Chicago Bears 7-3 going to Detroit 4-6 on this Thanksgiving Day. Mitchell Trubisky is doubtful for today's game, so that is the Bears' starting quarterback. So Matthew Lyle, who do you got in this game and why?
I said on last Sunday's show that I wasn't quite ready to be in on the Bears until they beat the Vikings, and they did. And so now I'm a man of my word. I'm going to root for the I think the Bears are going to do it. Yes, Trubisky's out, but the consensus says that NFL managers and coaches that if you're going to have a true backup quarterback, Chase Daniels is your guy. So I think Chase Daniels is going to be able to come in. You know, Mitchell Trubisky did some nice things on offense, but let's be real, these Bears are focused around that defense. And from far as I know, that defense is still going to do what it does. So I think Chase Daniels can come in, hand the ball off, dump it down to Gabriel, dump it down to Burton, dump it down to Cohen, and I think they're still going to get a win because the Lions are still far from impressive.
Yeah, I think this could be a prime game for the Lions to win at home to kind of get back into that division after they traded away Golden Tate. But to your point, I think Chase Daniels is Mitchell Trubisky. They're like the same quarterback to me. So for me, I'm looking at the offense that Matt Nagy runs for Mitchell Trubisky, and I'm thinking, well, Chase Daniels can run that offense. It's something like what he ran in Missouri, that spread type offense, get everybody going in motion, and I'm gonna pick the best receiver that's open. You know, that's the offense that Matt Nagy runs for Mitchell Trubisky. I think that same offense goes for Chase Daniels. I think he's comfortable playing quarterback. This Lions team is not a very great team defensively. They did get Darius Slay back, but this is not like a juggernaut of a defense. So I'm still going with the Bears. They've been rolling. That defense is going to get after Matthew Stafford. Matt Stafford will run some. He'll run some good. He'll throw some good plays, but other than that, I don't see much.
And just to add to your guys' points there, if the Bears win today's game, they are 2.5 games in first place in that division, and they are a 82% lock to win that division. So this is definitely a big game for the Bears today on Thanksgiving morning. Just moving on to the afternoon Thanksgiving game, we had the Washington Redskins versus the Dallas Cowboys. They did play about a month ago on October 21st, and the Washington Redskins won that game 20-17. Since that point, the Redskins have lost 2 of their last 3 games, and the Cowboys have won 2 of their last 3 games. The Redskins did lose their starting quarterback last week to a broken ankle or leg type of injury, and they have 3 offensive linemen out as well. So, Matthew Lyle, who do you got in this game?
You know, just because I don't think my stomach can take me uttering the words the Dallas Cowboys are going to win, I'm going to follow my head or my heart on this one. And I think that even though I've given up on the Redskins, I sold that stock a long time ago, I think they pull this one out. Primetime holiday game versus a division rival. I think the team rattles around Colt McCoy. He's a backup. He's been one there that every coach that has been there, every offensive coordinator loves him as a backup, says he prepared, he's ready. I don't think he's going to do anything. Well, I don't think he's going to lead them to the playoff, but I think they're going to beat Dallas today. And you know, that may be more of the Dallas Cowboy hater in me than anything.
Yeah, well, that's what I said yesterday. I was doing unpopular opinion yesterday, and I bring up all those reasons. It's not like Colt McCoy hasn't been in this league for a long time. It's not as if he hasn't been in this offense for a long time. He's been playing this system for 4 years. He beat the Cowboys back in 2014. So, I mean, this is not a guy who we would think of as kind of like a Peterman or a Mark Sanchez, although they did go out and sign Mark Sanchez when Alex Smith broke his leg. But Colt McCoy is a capable quarterback. Now, he's going to have an uphill battle with that Cowboys defense, especially that defensive line, DeMarcus Lawrence and the boys, Jalen Smith and Vander Nish, whatever his name is, the rookie that they got this year. But I think Colt McCoy will be ready. I think they get him involved in some early stuff. I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Adrian Peterson. But the Cowboys go as Zeke goes. If Zeke is going to have a good game, Zeke goes over 150 yards, you can probably much bet that the Cowboys are going to win this game. But that's going to be tough sledding
with the Washington Redskins front. That defensive line, the guys from Alabama, those guys are ranked. I believe it's now 4th in rushing. And rush defense is going to be tough. Dak Prescott's going to have to make some plays as well. But I think the Redskins come out with the victory.
And just to add to some of your guys' points here, if the Cowboys win this game, this gives the New York Giants a 38% chance to come back and win that division, and then all the teams are separated by 2 games or less in that crazy NFC East. If the Washington Redskins lose this game, moving on to the primetime Thursday night games that I absolutely hate. You have Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints. Falcons are 4-6 on the season, and the Saints are rolling at 9-1. The Falcons have lost 2 of their last 3 games, and obviously the Saints have won 5 or 6 in a row here. Matthew Lyle, who do you got on this one? Looks like we may have lost him. Billy Hatton.
Say that again. Say that again, Mike.
Yes, so we have Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints tonight in the primetime game. Saints are on a roll. They've won 6 in a row. Falcons have lost 2 of their last 3, coming to Cleveland and Dallas Cowboys. So Matthew Lyle, who do you have in this game?
You know, let me ride with one of the not even one of the hottest team out. Let me go with the New Orleans Saints. I don't know if anybody can stop them. It looked like a bit of a shootout the last time they played, and these 2 teams have done nothing but headed in the opposite direction. The Saints look unstoppable. The Falcons can't seem to win a game. I mean, Julio Jones is finding his way into the end zone, but that's about it. So I think you're going to have the Saints win big.
Yeah, I got the Saints as well. The Saints are hot. This is my Super Bowl pick. This is my NFC pick. This is also my Super Bowl champion, the New Orleans Saints. They're playing at home. You know that dome is going to be rocking tonight. Michael Thomas, a guy who catches everything. I said yesterday, out of 91 possible targets, this guy has caught 82 passes. 91 possible targets, 82 passes. So right now I'm looking at the Saints. I'm looking at Drew Brees, 25 touchdowns, 1 interception. I don't think there's anybody that's going to be able to stop this team.
All righty, guys. So those are our Thursday Thanksgiving NFL picks. And before we get into the quick pick'em here of college football, Super Bowl, NBA Finals, and Final Four, I want to ask you guys some questions here. Matthew Lyle, in a sports-related world, what are you thankful for this Thanksgiving in the sports world?
I'm going to go with my Kentucky Wildcats. It's been a long time since, we talked about this last night, Mike. Even though the teams hit a bad weekend, Kentucky's on the verge. Kentucky football is on the verge and expected at least to win. Very good win. Basketball team is still a competitor for a national championship. The soccer team is one of the top 2 to 3 teams in the country. Could easily win the soccer national championship. Something to hang a hat on. If you want to, the women's basketball team is highly ranked. The baseball team.
Looks like we're starting to lose Matthew Lyle here. He is on a road trip to see the in-laws, I believe, for Thanksgiving here. So Billy Hatton, once we get Matthew back, we'll let him finish. But what are you thankful this sports season?
Just all the sports in general, man. November is one of the best sports months in all the sports. November, December, it's kind of right there. When you got college football, you got basketball, you got college basketball, or NBA, college basketball, you got the NFL. So for me, just being able to watch and talk sports in general. Anytime I get to do that, man, I'm pretty happy. So just for all the sports in general, I think I'm thankful for everything I get to watch.
All right, and do we have Matthew back on the line here?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were cutting out. That choo-choo train was overpowering you. So Go ahead and finish your
I
thought.
thought the train was on your end.
No, I don't know where the train's at.
Oh, okay. I don't. Yeah, I thought it was a train that you guys had. No, basically what I was saying, and I don't know how far I got into before I cut out. I'm just, as I always joke that when it comes to pro sports, I'm a bandwagon fan. So, that is winning guaranteed when it comes to being that. But one thing that I am a diehard fan for is the Kentucky Wildcats and that whole university. And for the first time in a long time, every sport is relevant. Our football team's on the verge and chasing 10 wins. Our basketball team, got hit by a brick wall game one, but I think we're still favorites to make the Final Four, at least one of them, maybe in a slew of 10 teams. Our college baseball team preseason will rank in the top 10. Softball ranked highly when that season rolls around. Our women's basketball team's doing good. We talked about it last night, Mike. Our soccer team is their conference champion, and they got a very high seed in the NCAA tournament in their league. People laugh at it, but I mean, any sport, anything you do and you're dominant at, it has to be respected. The Kentucky cheerleading team, which isn't sanctioned by the NCAA, but it is still a squad, have won 24 titles in the last 30 years. Like I said, anything that you do and that you're dominant at, I have to take my tip my hat off to that. So it's just really been a fun time. I've grown frustrated with some of the fan base because I think they went from 0 to 100 real quick on expectations. But as just a fan and being a longtime UK fan, it's just been a really fun fall, and I hope it's something to build on and things to come for my program.
And I have to echo everything you guys said. I am thankful for you guys for doing the show here with me. Like we're up to 5 days a week here, and I just hope we continue to grow. And I definitely appreciate every sense of knowledge that you guys offer this show in one point or the other.
Yeah. Ironically, Mike, I was going to say the same, but I didn't want to get too touchy. This has been me and Mike met doing a semi-pro show, and it was fun. But I think we could both tell when we were doing that show, we wanted to do something we knew more and enjoyed talking about more. And since meeting Billy, and I think originally whether it was Chris, it's just really been a forum. And whether there's one listener or a million listeners, just a forum to actually talk sports with other knowledgeable sports fans. That's an experience that I could never forget.
Well, guys, and let's go ahead and move on to the next topic before we let Matthew rant here for the next 5 or 6 minutes at the end of the show here. We're just going to do a quick repick of this season. So the college football season is starting to come to, and I believe there's 2 games left in the regular season, not counting the conference championship games. So, Matthew Lyle, who do you have in your college football championship game as of now?
Well, as of now, originally I had Bama and Georgia just because I thought that's what the NCAA wanted to see. I don't see how dominant Bama is, and Georgia did hit a nail earlier in the season. I don't think that's going to be the case any longer. Now I have Bama taking on Clemson. Just because I don't have faith in Notre Dame, I don't have faith in Michigan. I think they're going to lose to Ohio State, and I don't have faith in Ohio State to get there. So give me Bama over Clemson.
Yeah, ditto. I think just because of the way the seasons are, I think Clemson is better than Notre Dame, and obviously Michigan to get Alabama. So I got Alabama and Clemson. I think Alabama wins, but I think Clemson give them a go because of that quarterback. Lawrence can really spin it.
All right, so sticking with the football ranks here, after watching that Monday night game versus the Rams and Chiefs and seeing what the Saints have been doing, all season now, you guys get a chance to re-pick your Super Bowl picks here. Matthew Lyle, who do you got in the Super Bowl as of now?
Well, just to recap, I think my earlier prediction, if I can recall back, I think it was Rams, Patriots. I still can't bet against Belichick, so I'm going to go Patriots, but I got to go Saints on the other side. I think they are one of the hottest teams out. So I got Patriots, Saints. Of course, I'm going to go with my heart here, and I'm going to say Patriots over Saints. But I think it'd be fun to see the I mean, let's be honest, in the grand scheme of things, both their windows are closing, and to see a quarterback matchup that was combined of 81 years old would be something fun to watch.
That would be great to watch.
I On the NFC side, I'm gonna change it. I had the Rams at the beginning of the year. I think the Saints is gonna make it from the NFC. Where I think they're gonna face the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think Drew Brees comes out, he get his second Super Bowl, and now we're having another discussion. Is even, I've been seeing it on TV. Is Aaron Rodgers better than Brees? If Brees get the second Super Bowl, I think he will get it this year. The Saints.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on over to the hardwood here. Your guys' Final Four this season. Matthew Lyle, who do you got?
I'm going to go with what I said earlier. I think it's going to be Kentucky versus Kansas, Duke versus Tennessee in the Final Four, and I think the championship game is going to be Duke versus Kentucky. I thought Kentucky was going to pull it out at the beginning of the year. They clearly didn't. I think they're going to be better for it. I got Kentucky over Duke.
I got Duke. I got Kentucky. I got Gonzaga. And I got North Carolina. I don't know why, and as a Duke fan, that pains me to even say North Carolina, but you can never count out a North Carolina team. So I got Duke, Kentucky, Gonzaga, North Carolina. I wanted to throw Kansas in there, but Kansas is one of those teams that always you have high hopes for them, and then they lose like in the Sweet 16. So I'm out on Kansas.
Just to add to that, every time Kansas plays a school that begins like with the letter B in the second round, they have lost 87% of the time. Just throwing it out there. So here's
the play in Dartmouth.
Let's move on over to the professional hardwood here. Who do you guys have in the NBA Finals as of November 22nd? Matthew Lyle.
Originally I went with Warriors over the Celtics. I still think the Warriors are going to get it together, get healthy, and get out there and get it done. The other side, I think I'm just so impressed. I don't quite trust the Celtics anymore. I think there's now too many cooks in the kitchen, and they just can't figure it out. I don't think Milwaukee's there quite yet. Philadelphia, I still think they're too immature overall as a team. So I'm going to take what it seems to be is Kawhi Leonard taking everything he learned from Popovich and bringing it to a team that was the number one seed last year. So give me Warriors Raptors with the Warriors winning in 5.
I think I'm gonna keep my same 2 picks. I want to go Toronto right now. Obviously, the Warriors is gonna make it from the West. I want to go Toronto, but I'm just not sure what they are in the playoffs just yet. I know what Kawhi Leonard could be. Kyle Lowry, he can be a nice little sidekick. They got Danny Green and Valanciunas and Ibaka and Siakam. These guys are that Toronto team is really good, but I'm still going to go with the Celtics. Warriors and Celtics. I think the Celtics will still be the best team going down the stretch. They're the deepest team, so they can run many lineups in the playoffs. And trying to beat these guys 4 times is going to be tough. So I got the Warriors and the Celtics. I got the Warriors winning another title.
And I just want you guys to look out for a team for the upcoming months. Look out for the Hornets. I've been kind of watching them play the last 2, 3, 4, 5 games here. They are a pretty solid team. They may not make it to the finals by any means, but look for them to make some noise over there in that conference. So you heard it here first. The Hornets, watch out.
I didn't see more from just a Kemba Walker, who's a volume shooter. Right. I know he's playing nice, and I don't know if anybody wants to have to deal with him now, but we've seen it so many times in the NBA. That fire is going to go out just based on 82 games. Yeah. I mean, you just unless it's 2K and you shut off the fatigue, you just can't go blank to the wall 48 minutes a game, 82 games a year. You just can't do it. And if you do, your team's losing, and because you're jacking up 70 shots. So I like it. Now you got me sidetracked, Mike, because I watched every second of that Hornets-Sixer game, and I couldn't even tell you what happened. The only reason I watched it was because it took me back to my childhood with that court.
Yeah.
With the 3-point line being purple, the whole inside paint being purple.
I loved it.
Oh, that took from the 95 Larry Johnson team. Oh, man. I was hoping for triple overtime just so I could keep just staring at that court and remembering playing with Muggsy Bogues, Larry Johnson, and Alonzo Mourning on NBA Live 95.
All right, guys. So that is going to be the show for today. But as always, we end the show with our daily rant. And on today's rant, we have Matthew Lyle. So, Matthew Lyle, you have the floor, my friend. Go at it.
So we've talked about this on the show a little bit, and I just want to keep harping it for any new listeners or maybe someone who just missed that show. So the holidays are coming, and for a certain group of kids, a certain group of teenagers or adults, this is if you're a college football player, by this point in time, you are exhausted. Your body is beat up, and it's a very important time for you. The season's closing down. You got the holidays. You got the bowl game. Then you got prep for the draft. If you are good enough to go pro, and your team does not have a championship to play for, a la Alabama, a la Clemson, or Notre Dame, and you choose to forego the bowl game, and I guess I should be looking at this from the fans' point of view. If your player of your favorite team chooses to forego a mediocre to decent bowl game, you should not say a single word but wish him the best. I'm looking at this from the Kentucky point of view. We talked about it a little bit last night, Mike. Benny Snell or Josh Allen could decide to set up this bowl game. I don't know. No one should ever have a problem with that. As a Kentucky fan, Benny Snell and Josh Allen got me to a place this season I did not think they could have us going. We were one win away from SEC East champions. Let me repeat that from a Kentucky football program. We were one win away from a SEC title, SEC East title. We were ranked in the top 10 of the college football playoff. Kentucky fans, for the first time probably ever, gathered around TVs, laptops, and cell phones and watched a chance for us to be spoken about in the same breath as national powerhouse. They talk about us like, how could we get in the title? For the first time in our life, that was a thing. And it's because of Benny Snell and Josh Allen. If you're a Bama fan or if you're a Michigan fan, you got your own players on there that it's because of them. And because these kids want to better themselves and save themselves from injury in a game that's not meaningless, that is meaningless now if you're not in the Final Four, you're going to be mad at it? I've said this before. If your kid came to you and was taking a business class and he started telling you what he was learning and you was like, no, that's wrong. If the professor was teaching him something that bettered the university but hurt his career, you would not stand for that. If your child was taking a math class and was going to be taking a calculus class, and the professor was teaching him things that he could not use in his real life because it made the university more money, but it hindered your son or daughter in their professional career, you would be down at that university before you could say anything. But because it comes at entertainment value, because these guys are student athletes, you think it's okay to throw their career and their life aside. You know, we've seen it when it was with Lamar Jackson and Tim Tebow. Oh, don't work on them being a quarterback. They need to win college games, not go to the pro. Why are we allowing this to hinder their growth and development? These kids are going home for Thanksgiving and Christmas with a very important decision to make. Do I take the footstep and the step forward of my life and go chase the career of my dreams? And for us fans to sit back and be selfish because we want a Citrus Bowl, because you want a Music City Bowl, because you want the Buffalo Wild Wing Bowl, please get out of here. If this was your kid, you would wrap him in bubble wrap. You would have had him do like Joey Bosa, and the moment he stubbed his toe, or Nick Bosa, the moment he stubbed his toe, you would have him on the couch after week 3, if that was your kid. But when it's someone else and it's for your selfish team, oh, you want him to have 50 carries in that game. So that's my thing, man. People forget these players are kids. They're just not robots in football uniform out there hitting each other. They're 18, 19-year-old kids, and God forbid if anyone judged me at 18 the way they judge these college kids.
All righty, guys. And that is the rant from Matthew Lyle on today's show. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow at 9:45.
Hey, that was perfect, Matthew.
Yeah, and we'll be back tomorrow at 9:45 a.m. Billy Hatton, go ahead and finish your thought there.
I said that was perfect, man.
Hey, had to serve up a slice of truth on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Alrighty. And like I said, guys, thank you for joining us. Be sure to join us tomorrow at 9:45 a.m. on the East Coast time. And as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share this with a couple friends, and we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good day.
It just won't last.